let's take a break from these relationship conversations and let's briefly talk about some real stuff. Money, budgeting, financing. And so for today, what I want to talk to you guys about are things like Klarna and Afterpay and Earning. Basically these apps where you can buy now and pay later, or you can borrow from the check coming up to have money right now. It's set up now to where you can pretty much finance everything. We already know about financing cars, but you can finance vacations, cell phones, clothes, shoes, jewelry, anything you want. And on top of that, you can also borrow up to $700-800 from your upcoming check before it even comes. And let me tell you something. That is a very easy way to get stuck in a situation where you're living from check to check, where you're broke, where you don't have any money, where you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, to where you get your check every time you get paid, and before you can even do anything with it, all the money is gone. And you're not making any growth, you're not saving any money, I've been there. I'm going to tell you exactly how it happens. So you download one of these apps where you can borrow from an upcoming check. And because you have the ability to borrow from a check coming up, guess what you don't do? You don't properly budget your money. You're buying stuff that you shouldn't be buying. You're eating out. You're doing this. You're doing that. And then when your money runs low, you just transfer out some money for a fee from your upcoming check. Next thing you know, it's payday. And you're like, okay, because most of us, we have a rent check and a non-rent check. Obviously, the rent check is the check that you use to pay your rent. That's where the majority of that check is gone because it's going to rent and some other few things. Whereas your other check of the month might be for your car payment and then miscellaneous stuff. And that's where you get a large sum of money that you can pocket because it's not going towards bills. But what happens is you start downloading these payday apps, right? And so instead of you budgeting your money correctly, knowing that, okay, I got to pay rent once a month, instead of you just budgeting correctly for that, you just download a payday app, and after you pay your rent and your money is low, you just borrow from your next check. $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800. So now the next check comes around, and even though you've already paid your rent, it's kind of like you're paying your rent twice because you've already spent a large chunk of that money already. So here it is. So let's just say like you take home, you get $2,000 every 2 weeks. And your rent is $1,300. That first check, you pay the $1,300 for your rent. You got $700 left. You buy food, gas, whatever. You might have like $200, to get you to the next paycheck. If you just cut out the Starbucks, don't go out, be smart, you can make it. But instead, what you do is you download a payday app and you transfer out $300, $400, $500 of your next check so you have some cushion and so you can, have some fun and still get your coffee and eat out for lunch every day, right? So now the next check comes, you're supposed to be getting, I say probably around $1,600, $1,700 because you pay your car payment, your car insurance, maybe a miscellaneous thing right there. You still have between $1,500 and $1,300 left over where you can, figure out what you're going to do with yourself, right? But the problem is you've already transferred out $500. So now you got $580 because you got to add on the fees that you got to pay back. So instead of you starting off with $2,000 and going down to $1,500, you're starting off because they take that money right off the top. They're going to get their money. So you're not starting off with $2,000. You're starting off with $1,500. And then you're still spending, because you're going to have some bills. So instead of you work with between $1,300 and $1,500, because it's not a rent check, now you're working with $1,000 to $850. And because bad financial habits tend to compound, more than likely on top of that, not only do you have payments that you got to make because you did a advance on your paycheck, you probably also got Earnin and Klarna, and so you got payments for that because you went on a shopping spree. And you got you some clothes or some shoes or some shades, or you financing the trip or paying for a trip that you already financed. And so you got $150 payment worth in buy now, pay later stuff. So now you done drop down another $150. Then you still got to get gas and food for the next 2 weeks, take off another $300. And before you know it, the amount of money that you have for the non-rent check is the same amount of free money that you have for the rent check. And so what type of situation do you wind up in? You wind up in a check-to-check situation where all you do is pay bills and survive until the next payday. You're not saving, you're not investing, you're not paying off debt. You're surviving because you are not being financially responsible. The reason why I can speak on this is, once again, I've been there. And trust me, when I was using the payday apps and all that kind of stuff, I never got ahead. It didn't matter how much money I was making, if I got a raise, if I went over here, I never got ahead. I never had any real money. I never had any money saved. I was not budgeting. Just every pay period, money's low. Okay, let me go to the app. Let me borrow from the next check. That's what I was doing repeatedly. Let me upgrade my cell phone and finance the cell phone so that my cell phone bill was higher every month. Let me go and use Afterpay and get these clothes so that I'm fresh. So I got a new cell phone, I'm fresh, I got a job with benefits, but I'm broke. Spending money you don't have instead of budgeting the money that you do have is going to keep you broke. In order for you to break that cycle, first thing you have to do, pay off Afterpay, pay off Klarna, pay off all those other buy now, pay later, pay all that stuff off, and then close the account. Second thing, get up to date on these payday apps. Make sure you have them paid off. Delete the app, close the account. And then budget your money. This is how much I'm making. This is how much I have to pay in all my bills. Because what you're going to do is you're going to start to cut stuff off. Oh, I got Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime, and I got Peacock, and I got Paramount Plus and HBO Max. I don't even have time to watch all that stuff. 2, 3, 4 of those, I'm cutting that off. Oh, I went out 4 times this pay period because I went out Friday and Saturday, both weekends. Spent how much at the restaurants and the bars and the clubs? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Oh, I'm making $120 payments because I spent my $450 max on Afterpay. Oh, when I finally get these clothes paid off, I'm not doing that no more. Once you put yourself in the mind state that I can only spend the actual money that I have, you're going to budget your money better. You're going to spend less money. And eventually, as time goes on, you will have more money. That's the crazy part. As you budget your money better, you're going to have more money even though you still make the same amount. Ask me how I know. I'm telling you, when you budget your money properly, you're going to have more money even though you still make the same amount of money. You're just making better choices with the money that you already have.
Oh, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money.
Bullshit. I see you shining. I can smell a mother with money.